Hi everyone, this is Karak from ACG. It's a unique time, brothers and sisters. X-Files is back on TV. The US presidential race is neck and neck, with the winner basically being the last person any of us would choose for dodgeball, and I'm sitting here playing an Xcom sequel. That is indeed right, an Xcom game made from the ground up for the PC with no quarter given, no alien artifact unturned, and most likely at least one lobotomy or anal probe involved. Xcom 2 tells the tale of the aliens actually winning, and their presence known to the world. You play the part of insurgents some 20 years after the previous titles, and it's once again your job to call, kill, crush, suffocate, laser stab, slice, and shoot the enemy menagerie. Let's see how this sequel to one of the great granddaddies of turn-based strategy does, shall we? As always, if you like the video, maybe subscribe. So here's the review for XCOM 2, finding out what Agent 47 does between Hitman games, being blown to bits by what seems like alien baby batter, and fighting off man snakes, or makes, or maybe that's smans. Yes, the dreaded sman. Graphics are up first. Graphically, I have to say this thing is almost always a beast, though at times there are a couple glitches. We're running it on future-proof settings. We'll get anything under a 980 Ti to submit to its power. You can still make it look damn good with all manner of subsurface reflections, light scattering, and various other effects-laden options. And of course, what's nice is many of those can be changed on the fly. It's always been the blazing and blatantly in-your-face special effects and particle dances and weird, strange design that really set XCOM aside from other turn-based titles, to me, personally, in the past. And XCOM 2 is no slouch. In fact, it doesn't matter if you're dodging under an enemy's high beams as he burns the air above you, or unleashing a 5-pound dumbbell worth of steel in somebody's face. The graphics, fake ragdoll, and particle systems here really shine throughout the entire title. Characters are highly customizable and get new unlocks as you level up, and as always, just creating soldiers and naming their short-lived avatars after all your buddies can eat up an entire night. But it's when you get to the battlefield and that excellent use of light and level design that really mesh together to form some memorable moments, much of which are captured via a somewhat improved action cam that can really zoom down into uncomfortably close quarters as you're aiming your grenade launcher or taking sight on the sloped melon of an alien adversary. Sadly, many of these moments of exuberance are short-lived, and I'll get to that in a bit. Regardless, if you're in the nosebleed vision zoomed way out section of this game, the entire battlefield looks amazing. If you're zoomed fairly up close, XCOM still looks good. It's not absolutely drop-dead gorgeous, but at times it can be really close. And while texture work is fairly good, to me it's the lighting system and its prowess at throwing particles everywhere and lighting them up that really solidifies that feel that I'm there in the battle. Stuttering does occur during loading screens, and this is on an SSD, which can at times be overly long as well. And when moving characters in long-distance dashes, the FPS at times had a tendency to hitch just a little bit. That doesn't show its face anywhere else, which was really surprising, and they have a frame rate smoothing option in this. I turned it on, and that did actually fix most of that. Lastly, a kudo for the highly destructive environments. Not only excellent looking, but stretching the ability of players to strategically simplify entries and exits during tense moments was hugely welcome. Simply amazing destruction, and it changes the battlefield. Sound, music, and voice.
The Resistance is asking for our help in rescuing an important VIP of theirs that was recently captured by Advent forces in this region.
You have done an outstanding job leading the Resistance, Commander.
I'm going to be real honest. Listen, I don't know what being evaporated sounds like, or being lasered in the face, or being on the good night and good luck end of a shotgun, but damn, does this sound really good. I had one set of strangely crackling sound effects, but I restarted the game, and that made those go away. Here, the environmental effects mend perfectly with those of your character moving and battling. 1 second, a bird's whistling next to you as you and your team move with stealth into the attack range of enemies, and then the next thing you know, the entire world is on fire. Trees are exploding in high bitrate glory as you grenade blanket the enemy. Excellent sound design, with the respect for the soundstage spreading not only to the nearby confines around you, but also being impacted by all that destruction of items, location changes, and, well, burning bodies and destroyed walls. Very good sound. Music. You know, I'd have to say it's pretty much what you would expect. You know, if you're dropping down into the danger zone, Kenny Loggins has been replaced with the typical chasing violins we always associate with tense moments, while horns creep up to remind you that these guys and gals are doing some serious crap. It's all well and good, but there are no surprises, and there are really no standouts amongst all those different tracks. It's good music, and it adds to the atmosphere, but it doesn't make you sit up and think of Conan or Excalibur or some epic movie. Instead, it's pretty much excellently done filler. Voice. Xcom is such a strange beast. It's always been a bit odd in the voiceovers, with a cheesy directive being firmly in place in the past titles. Now, I was surprised to note that for the most part, much of that cheese has been removed, and a more realistic and militant set of voice actors seem to add energy, atmosphere, and tension to some of the situations. Of course, you do still have Optimus Prime's little brother, or Agent 47, or whatever you want to call him, basically constantly telling you good job or stressing the importance of less sucking while performing your duties, which is an awesome sentence. I would say it was well done and above the previous titles, but it's not The Last of Us, or Shakespeare, or even Life is Strange. Gameplay. First, I think it's important for everybody to remember this is Xcom, and though the story somewhat switched sides with you now working in somewhat secret with resistances around the world to stop the alien threat that has not only taken over much of humanity, but steered many of them into the probably four-armed embrace of their captors, it's still Xcom, which means you make a unit, land in a hot zone, and take out the enemies. Making a unit is easy. You have a ton of customizations that you can pick from and a couple character classes like Ranger or Grenadier. You outfit them, and in between battles you continually upgrade them, and if you have a better base, maybe you pick some extra stuff for them to take out, and then you go out and you wage war. Now, battle is, of course, always turn-based, and it has abilities like Overwatch and others that can be used strategically to keep your men alive and the aliens dead. Now, once you complete whatever objectives are on that level, you exfil from the area and are maybe promoted, picking from various skills for that class, or maybe you're wounded and need some R&R. But between entry and exit, there are a couple thousand situations that play out and a couple problems that may crop up. First, let's cover the good stuff. There is now stealth. Basically, you enter most areas, you're hidden from the enemy, except for a few story-driven levels. This allows for a level of planning, skullduggery, and just plain old good-fashioned sniping that really lifts Xcom to a completely other level. Bringing heavy weapons to bear on a group of unsuspecting flesh mounds simply can't be denied as one of those you must do this at least once in the game moments. And with all the skills for hacking items, new weapons, and stealth-based abilities of all kinds, the game feels fantastically different, but ultimately natural to anybody who's played these titles before. There's an almost elegant expertise here when it comes to the new and old skills and the way battle and locations are handled and how they interact with the various skills, really becoming highly powered if used correctly, which means that even a wounded character can turn the tide if they have the right skills or are perched in the right place. And even a strong, well-armed character can get gutter sniped if you leave them in a bad place, like for instance on the second floor of a crumbling building or next to things that go boom and rooms filled with things that are going boom already. It really is this consistently changing environment that is so damn insane that you just sit back and sort of take it all in, even when your favorite dude, Awesome Guy 57's being lit on fire, lasered, and then falls through the damn floor. And with the world obviously made of painted graham crackers and constantly shattering around you, there's a good chance you're going to lose at least one soldier from just pure unadulterated destruction. But you know what? That's war. And war never changes. Now, this tit for tat of delving into danger, skulking away into shadows is where the difficulty level comes in. And while easy shows you what buttons to press, the hardest difficulty shows you that no matter how many you press, someone's gonna die. This is Xcom, not an episode of MTV Cribs. When you enter someone's home, base, or barracks with the intent to do harm, harm's going to be done to you. Xcom 2 really continues this fatalistic future theme. It isn't about everyone holding hands and living at the end. It's about attrition under alien threat and how horrible it would be. However, the addition of some of the skills and the more realistic delivery of the story, as well as the excellent voice acting, do a really good job in solidifying the gameplay and making the game just feel more impactful than any of the prior titles were for me. Now, when you do get back home, you customize your base, hang out in the bar, look at the pictures of those who have come and gone before you, and perform all manner of upgrades, research, and development to really keep the resistance going. Various locations within the base offer, of course, the special bonuses, equipment creation, or skills that can be purchased, and it's all done nicely and represented with that XCOM cut down the center view that is notorious for most gamers. But most of that downtime and that home time is really just sort of pregnant with tension to get back into gameplay, which could be possibly good and bad. When you're in the overland map, you can do things like investigate alien incursions and try to contact other parts of resistances. Everything, though, takes time. And time, though assisting you in research and development, also means the aliens are doing their part as well, upgrading and updating themselves to better combat you in Battle 2.0. Because pretty much everything you do everywhere else is about leading you back to that battle. The synergy of figuring out your group dynamic and how you like to play is ultimately rewarding, even if some of the timed levels restrict you a bit, and I'm going to cover that in a second. But it's that complete flexibility in which you can field a team that's so enjoyable, rewarding both destructive gameplay with waiting out moments of stealth until the last moment. Both styles of combat are efficient, but one seems to work a little better than the other. You see, many, and I mean many, of the missions are harshly timed. Any flexibility you could have had during timed mission is really effectively neutered with the low number of rounds that they give you to do anything. And sadly, many missions really result in you stopping in interesting places only to be told you have 5 to 8 rounds to basically fulfill your mission, which usually results in a move fire kind of gameplay versus any interesting strategies or subterfuge that you might have wanted to employ. And sadly, some of the best missions were really harmed by this. It's sad, really, as some of the coolest locations are time-based, and of course I think we'll probably quickly get mods out there that change all this, but I'm reviewing the retail game, not adjusted for later game. There were just too many of them, and whatever poignancy or urgency they were trying to elicit felt far more forced than it did fun. Now that doesn't mean they're terrible, it just means that they are a bit tighter than good gameplay in unique situations would have you hope. As I said, there were a couple things that brought this game down, and that was one of them. Another one is the camera. You fight it in some kind of constant death struggle to see exactly where and what's going on. The addition of all new environmental effects and really detailed complex levels means that moving up and down locations or trying to just get the right vantage point can be nut-crunchingly difficult. And there have been a couple times where my guy climbed onto a roof only to be shot in the throat because the game seemed to indicate he was just going to walk across the room, but instead he climbed up a ladder. It's the equivalent of deciding to be an astronaut instead of watching the movie Apollo 13. And yes, it's that final. Most of the time, as a single wrong move can mean man-mulching of the highest level. Then again, there is a chance that you can end up watching your entire team take a moonlit bath in each other's blood, especially when the special foes start showing up, like dudes that can pull you around the level and then squeeze anyone who hasn't leveled up a bit to death in 2 quick turns. It can be brutal beyond mere words to watch a team you spent hours with get absolutely destroyed, with one dude flying back in his airship, head in his hands, as his pal's meat is getting passed through the digestive system of a coyote in some Mexican desert. And it really can be that hard. But you know what? I think all of us who play XCOM know that. Now, when it comes to difficulty, we talk a little bit about the AI. A game like this lives on its AI, and though it's not award-winning, its use of blowing up walls around you, retreating, flanking you constantly, and I swear to God, purposely making me chase one of the weaker aliens into a larger ambush is actually pretty good. Not amazing, but I think personally better than past AI in these titles. All games hinge on their feedback loop, and here we have a unique one where it's not battle, upgrade, it's actually battle, recruit, new dude, battle, upgrade, recruit, new dude, battle, upgrade, oh shit, everyone died. XCOM has always felt more final than fancy-free, and I love its hatred of me winning. Fun factor. Yeah, I enjoy the hell out of this. Though the research and development phase is amped up with excellent cutscenes and voiceovers that might be so frequent as to bother some gamers, it's just got an awesome presentation. It's still the action and reaction of life-ending battle that XCOM does so well. And despite a couple issues that I've spoken about, especially with the camera, the fact that I could blow out the legs of a building, come roaring out of it with all guns blazing into the flank of an enemy, and then fade into the shadows when their reinforcements arrived, and see that work perfectly in the field was awesome. It's just good fun pitting your humans against the snake men of the alien armada and seeing who comes out again. It's a stone-cold blast. So I rate games on a buy, wait for a sale, rent, or never touch it again rating scale. This is of course a buy. At this time, I don't feel it's in classic status of any kind, but what it offers is excellent turn-based alien on human battle that uses both what you brought with you and also what you can destroy as toys in the destructive toy box that it offers. I'm excited to see what mods they have to add here, and I'm going to continue to play the hell out of this thing. As I always say, if you liked the video, hit thumbs up. If you disliked it, hit thumbs down. Maybe go to Reddit, follow us on Twitter, whatever. Peace out.